Hello, everyone. Peace, joy, and prosperity to you. A friend of mine asked me to create this video letting you know how I became the intuitive that I am. And the place that I need to start with this is in my youth. I was blessed to be raised by a professional astrologer. When I was about 6 years old, we moved to a small town in Indiana, and she went to a welcome wagon when we first moved there, and she met an astrologer, and that person would become her first astrology teacher. And over the next couple of years, my mother couldn't get enough of studying astrology. So when your mom speaks Spanish, you grew up speaking Spanish. Well, my mom grew up speaking astrology, so I grew up speaking astrology. um, she took me along with her to a meditation when I was around 8 years old, and um, they, in that meditation circle, really just treated me like I was any other person in the circle, and I really liked that, and I learned some really cool things in that class. And some of the things that I learned to do were to focus my energy and to talk to my spirit guides. And I started gazing into a candle when I was a child, and I would meditate by gazing into a candle. I would always see my spirit guides in that candle and talk to them. So nobody told me that I was crazy for the information that I got. In fact, people really liked to listen to me even when I was a little girl. I found in my teenage years, when hanging out with my other friends, all my friends were like my mom's friends, kids. So we were all kind of intuitive, allowed to be intuitive and magical kids. So we did things, like try to open windows or move curtains with our mind. And we were playing around with psychometry, and um, just we were just playing around with our tools, and it just got to a place where we were too powerful that we just couldn't handle how powerful we were. um, there was a topsy-turvy part of my early teen years where my family fell apart, and I turned away from everything I knew and just started grasping to hold on to life. And I basically stopped meditating and just was a teenager. But in my early 20s, we had moved to San Francisco, and I happened into this school called Psychic Horizons. And I sat down in that chair, and I knew I was one of them. I knew I was one of the psychics. I knew I was one of the healers, and I knew that whatever they had to teach, I needed to learn it. So I stayed in that program all the way through clairvoyant training and their minister studies, and soon after moved here to the Central Coast. From the time that I started studying clairvoyant tools, I really felt that I really started meditating every day. I started trusting my information. I started trusting what I got. And when I moved here to the Central Coast, I found that any kind of job or anything I did, like on a job level, it didn't really work here for me. That I was really supposed to teach clairvoyant tools. So I just started going to the local Unity church and started putting flyers on the cars, started creating meditation groups, circles, teaching classes. And I, over the years, have expanded the clairvoyant program that I teach. I teach all the tools I was taught, but I also expand that into medical intuition from a series of different spirit guides who've talked to me about the body systems. And I've learned a lot of things just from meditation and listening to my guidance. So I like to connect people with their guidance. The funnest thing I do in life is pass on the tools that I learned. And to make a long story short, I truly have been this intuitive healer all my life, and I couldn't be more blessed to be who I am. So there you have it. And that's how Alexandra became Alexandra Steinicke Intuitive. And my website is alexandrasteinicke.com.